Right, this is Mike from the Mike James Rock Show. We're at Temples Fest. Tom, how's it going, man?
It's going quite alright.
Yeah?
Yeah. I'm a little bit under the weather. I caught quite a heavy cold on the flight back from the Maryland Death Fest on Tuesday.
I was going to say, how was that? It looked like the whole festival was pretty intense.
The traveling was gruesome. Delta Airlines had a massive delay on the way there. At the end of the day, it took us 30 hours to get from Zurich, Switzerland to Baltimore. But the concert itself was fantastic. The festival was very professional and the audience was amazing.
Yeah.
So I guess it was well worth it. But as I said, on the overly filled planes, I must have gotten a cold from somebody. So I'm a bit under the weather, and we'll see how that plays on tonight.
Yeah, it'll all go. By the time you step on stage,
my concentration is even more flawed than usual, so I can't guarantee for anything. We'll see.
It's been almost a year now, I guess, since the album's come out. It was last summer. How's it going down now? Are you still getting a good response for it?
The album has been doing very well, which I feel very fortunate about.
Cool.
It's not something I take for granted, of course. It's also difficult to write a good album.
Yeah.
I still feel very critical about the album, but I feel very blessed that people like it. What can I say?
I guess a lot of artists are very critical of their own stuff. They're never happy with it. You can always progress it on. You ever look back at any of your
It's not that. It's just connected to so many difficult times that we went through in our private life at the time. Coincidentally, it even caused the album to be delayed for like years.
Oh right.
And then, of course, I can hear that in a lot of the songs and a lot of the lyrics, which makes it at times a bit difficult for me to listen to certain songs.
Of course, yeah. Reminds you of situations.
In general, we formed our own record company, formed our own publishing company. We have full control of everything. I don't really need to release anything that's not finished. But with this album, it was a different thing.
Yeah.
It just happened to be created when several of us went through very difficult times in our lives, as it happens sometimes.
Yeah, it does.
And when you're a musician, of course, that translates into the music, which sometimes makes a little bit...
Especially if you're constantly performing those tracks that remind you of like darker times. It's always there. Like
Actually, when we play in concert these songs, it's different because they're filled with a completely different kind of energy.
Oh right, okay.
I find it much more difficult to listen to the album live. It's a different level.
Right.
And you get so much adrenaline from the audience, and you can tell that the audience perceives the songs differently, and that also comes back to you. So it's not really a problem when you're on stage.
Okay.
Much more when I'm somewhere and somebody puts on a song from the album, then it's a bit uncomfortable.
Are you finding there's any sort of fan favourites or live show favourites from the new album then?
Oh, I think there's plenty. Of course, the video tracks, the two video tracks, have gone down very well. But there's also a song called Abyss Within. I tend to confuse the two. The very slow song, the third or the fourth on the album. I forgot right now my own song, which goes down very well, and which actually has become a favorite of the band, which makes it even more embarrassing that I can't think of the title.
We won't hold it against you.
No, but the thing is, we actually love to play these songs. As I said, it comes across really differently when you're recreating them on your instrument. It's not that you reproduce the album with the moods that existed when you did the album. You actually have a chance to recreate them on stage, and that really makes the difference.
And then it goes down, especially you want the lights and the atmosphere and all that kind of stuff.
The song "Tree of Suffocating Souls," for example, which was one of the two videos, in my perception, has been quite a favorite, and also it's a challenging song to play for us live, but also very satisfying.
Yeah,
because it's a bit more technical, a bit more up tempo and stuff. So it's been quite alright to play this album on stage.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. You mentioned the Maryland Death Festival. By the looks of it, you're out doing a hell of a lot of festivals this year. How do you pick and choose which festivals to play at, or is that just down to the management? You said just
no, nothing's down to the management.
No?
We decide. We have a management, of course, but everything goes through our band, and we decide very well on our own. I don't really want to be told what to play.
No.
We just, if we feel the festival is right for some reason, then we'll play it.
So what gave you the idea to say yes to Temples Fest? And
everybody I talked to had only the highest possible opinion of this festival. Awesome. It has a really good reputation, even after having existed only a short time.
It's only the second year, and it's sold out 6 weeks.
But everybody told us it's a fantastic festival, so we gladly signed on. we were very curious. We wanted to experience that ourselves too.
So you're always looking to go out to newer festivals then, just to get your band out to these places that you haven't been to?
Well, of course, you try to play some places that you haven't necessarily played yet, but you know, it is really different. There's different reasons. Yeah, it simply has to fit the band. We don't want to play a festival for routine, or because some management or something tells us to. We want to feel somehow intuitively that we belong there, and then it's all right.
How about headline tours? Is there plans to do any more sort of headline tours and come back to the UK?
That's actually a discussion right now. We have an offer for a special guest tour. And we've just done a special guest tour, and it's a very good tour. So we're kind of torn. We would like to do a new album and then come back with our own headline tour and do our own thing and play longer. But you're not offered every day a really attractive full European tour as a special guest either. So it's a bit of a discussion. But I tend to think that we'll decide for waiting and coming back as a headliner. Yeah. Especially over here, where I think it's possible.
Okay.
But everybody knows the music scene has become very difficult, not just with album sales, but also with concerts. It's a much longer and much more tedious path than when I was in Celtic Frost, and we're
well, it's all right. We'll edit that bit out.
Yeah, it's all right.
You're right in the middle of the camera. Excuse me, you're right in the middle of our camera. Oh, sorry.
We should chop their heads off.
Yeah, I'll chop them off.
It would make for a very unique interview.
Let's get back. Right, so where were we? You were on about...
the song, by the way, is Altar of the Seeds.
You got there.
I would have hated not remembering that.
So, we were saying about coming back for a headline tour.
I would love that, of course. Yeah.
So
it gives you a lot more freedom. I mean, you know, the band in question that we're talking to are I think we get along well with them. But of course, you still have more freedom when you're your own headliner.
Would you not want to perhaps maybe do a double headliner, so you alternate the day, so you headline one day, they headline the next? Is that something that
I'm basically open for something like that. I'm not on some kind of star trip. Yeah, of course, but I don't know if they would do that.
Yeah, it's give and take then, isn't it? Are you already starting to think or write towards a new album?
Absolutely, I've been doing this for quite a while. Yeah.
Awesome.
But there's only a rough timeline attached to it. It's finished when it's finished. We are under no pressure really. I want to release a good album, not a quick album. Yeah. So we'll see. I hope it won't take as long as the last one, but I haven't really set a deadline yet.
Just go with the
we're working on it, yeah.
Do you still feel albums are the way forwards then? Because there's a lot of bands that now either do a couple of tracks every couple of months or an EP every sort of 9 months or so in a video.
I've followed all of that, Spotify and everything that's out there. Of course I follow that, it's my scene.
Yeah.
But each to their own. I happen to like the album format because I started playing music in a different generation.
Of course.
And I don't feel forced to change that anytime soon. I think an album still works, and we're very much an album band. But if another band wants to do it differently, I think it's perfectly alright. Okay. It's a free world, and I think there's room for anything.
It's finding your own sort of like path and like going with it. And see what throws up.
To me, an album is you know, to me, Triptykon is very much about an album, not individual songs.
Yeah.
And an album tells a full story. It has a pacing. It's almost like a theater play or a movie.
Oh, yeah, okay.
And if you just transplant 1 or 2 songs out of there, I don't know. For right now, I don't think it would suit Triptykon. But we'll see.
Just got to go with whatever works for you, I guess. It also hypes the band as well, I guess. Like those bands that do have albums out, it takes a while to record and like get the promotion. Then everyone gets really excited. Whereas I just
happen to love the platform that an album gives you. Visually, with the band photos, with the lyrics, with liner notes that we put on there, with posters. There's so much stuff you can do with an album that you all lose when you put your songs simply on Spotify.
So you did a lot of work with Geiger as well.
Yeah, call me old-fashioned, but I like music as a whole package.
Yeah,
I like to be given several levels of expression.
You get vinyl is making a resurgence as well. So you get a vinyl and it's gatefold.
Yeah, of course, it's fantastic. What can I say?
Look at some of those album covers from like the 70s of the prog bands, and you'd open it up and it would transform into a big poster as well.
And the people who don't want to buy the album, I mean, everything's available electronically anyway, so you know, we're not losing anything.
No. It's just another platform for getting your stuff out.
Yeah.
It's been a pleasure catching up with you, man.
Thank you very much.
Looking forward to seeing your set later on, man.
Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much, man. Cheers.